So, Mom, we just got finished watching The Last of Us, episode 5, HBO, Friday night, not Sunday
Yeah.
night.
And it should be Friday night every week. Let me just throw that out there.
No, I disagree.
Why?
Because I look at it as Friday nights, I'm like, oh, done with work, sweet. And then Sunday nights, it's like my little treat before I go
Yeah.
back to the work days and things like that. So it's something I look forward to happening on Sunday nights. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll definitely take
I
it being
enjoyed
on
it.
Friday
I
night.
enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed it this week.
Yeah,
So,
I want to hear all the thoughts, Mom. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it meh? What was it?
oh, it was definitely not, man.
No, it definitely was not.
And let me just say right off the bat, we called it. It was Perry.
Yes, it was Perry. That
And I hated that.
I did
Like,
too.
no, I wanted him to be in every episode from now on.
Yeah, I really liked Perry. I feel like Jeffrey Pierce unfortunately got the short end of the stick in terms of, he's Tommy in the video game and in the show he didn't get to do a
We
whole
didn't even,
lot.
no, and they didn't even have it a good up close, so
No,
we
it
could
was
get a
so
really
far
great.
away. I mean,
Yeah,
you saw like basically part of his
we
body
knew
was
we knew
like,
what was happening,
yeah, yeah.
but
You
but
were having all those
these
memories.
noobs, these noobs, they had no idea what was going on.
No.
Um, the episode I thought was so damn good.
Yeah.
That was really, really good. But dang it. There's some things they can change. Come on, y'all.
Oh,
HBO, you guys can change. You don't have to kill the people off that just because they died in the game. Oh
yes.
my gosh.
It was brutal. My wife and I were watching it together, and I was just like, damn, they really did a great job of just teasing us with that little sliver of hope, and then just crushed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
More so than the game. For a second there, I'm like, oh, they're about to switch it up. Sam and Henry about to live it
They're
in the
they're
TV
going
show.
to they're
Yeah,
going with them.
yeah. I was
Wyoming or Montana, wherever the crap they're going.
Wyoming, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely thought they'd switched it up on us, and when they woke up, Ellie walks over to Sam, and all of a sudden he goes to attacking her because he is turned. I was like, oh shit, it's actually happening. The scene from the
Yeah.
game, and
Yeah.
it played out almost one to one, exactly the way it goes down in the game.
It was pretty close.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't. Did they? They didn't change anything with the
Yeah,
Sam Sam and Henry.
they were eating, oh no. They were eating chili.
Yeah, that. Oh,
I mean,
oh,
if
oh,
we're gonna say
oh.
1-to-1, I'm just saying you need to check your facts.
You're like, I'm
Uh,
gonna fact check. You're like the fact checker during like the presidential debates and things
yeah,
like that.
wrong.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
actually,
in the game too, Ellie and Sam, I think were closer in age. It seemed like they
yeah,
were
yeah,
anyway.
yeah, for sure.
Um, but Ellie did a great job of just being a little kid. So
Yeah,
I
which
don't know.
she's never been able to
Sam,
be a little kid, basically.
yeah,
Which it's kind of
I'm,
weird
I
though because Sam would have not, he wouldn't have been able to be a little kid either.
no, and his was way worse because he was
Yes.
born during this time and being deaf.
Yeah.
How terrifying!
Yeah.
Truly terrifying. So that part I thought was a really super interesting twist on the character and just made it that much scarier. I mean, I wasn't sitting back on the couch. I was right on the edge
Yeah.
the whole time. I liked that we got the explanation of why Kathleen was such a bitch. I get it.
Yeah. When the episode opened and we just see all this lawlessness and all this like
I'm
just
like,
horrible shit.
holy, these are bad, bad people.
Yes, extremely bad people. The way that they were killing all of the Fedra folks and
Hmm.
everything, but of course, I mean, whoever's in power, it's like absolute
Well,
power corrupts absolutely.
yes,
Um,
and they were terribly corrupt, and for 20 years,
yeah,
torture and rape, and
yeah.
so it.
I mean,
I get.
Henry said it best, right? And he called it "kill a town," and
Yeah,
the fact that they were raping and pillaging these folks for the 20 years or whatever, and they finally had enough and they revolted. They became the resistance. But
but they didn't. They had the resistance
yes,
all that time,
hmm
but the brother wasn't able to make it happen, and Kathleen was.
I'm curious what the resistance looked like prior to Kathleen taking it
They were
over.
probably normal
Yeah,
people trying to survive.
yeah, they were just trying to get under the boot, the
Hmm.
boot heel of
Yeah.
Fedra and everything. But it was interesting getting to. We got all the backstories, which was
Hmm.
great, in this episode. And this is why I'm absolutely loving the TV show because they're just enriching the game. We
Right.
get more emotionally connected and tied to Sam and Henry in this episode, way more than you do in the game. Not that you didn't get connected
No,
to them, but it was just like on
right.
a
It
deeper
it
level.
it was a lot deeper. It hurt me. I mean, I cried,
You
and
did. I was gonna
yeah.
add. Yeah. How many tears did you?
Well, they didn't give me to me a whole lot of time
No,
to
though.
grieve, and so it would have been a longer lasting cry.
Yeah.
I might have paused it and cried more, but I did know we were going to record, so I'm like, okay, keep
Get
it
the,
in real time.
get the cries out.
Yep, keep it going.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that was just is the TV show more depressing than the game?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's been more depressing than the game the entire time. Um,
Yes, that's it.
yeah.
But and so it's like week by week. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit, man, you're hurting me.
Yeah. Like I can't take much more of this shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely way more depressing than the game. There was so many more like moments of levity in the game than there had been on the TV show. That being said, there was a whole lot of them in this episode, which was really nice. Um,
Were there? What were
yeah,
they?
yeah. Well, all of the like the Sam and Ellie, like
Yeah.
them going back and forth. We got the Savage Starlight comics, and they were reading them back
Yes.
and
I
forth.
was so excited by that.
Yeah, that was a nice little Easter egg from the games. And I guess this wasn't as much of a. It was funny because of the delivery, but obviously he was still rough and gruff. Whenever Henry's explaining, hey, I'm not here to hurt you, and he's like, "Are we cool?" And Joe's like, "Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's fine."
I
And
thought that was pretty good. She's like, he's an asshole. It's all
yeah,
fine. That's just the way he talks.
yeah,
So
he just has an asshole voice.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. But no, you're right. It's been way more depressing. Uh, even Kathleen, not that, and Perry and like all these people, right? I mean, obviously they start the beginning of the episode and you're like, damn, these people are terrible.
Hmm.
But we forget that we didn't see all the terrible things
Yeah.
that Fedra did to them.
It,
And
it it is funny how quickly they made me flip flop.
yeah, yes, yeah. But then when Kathleen, again, going back to Perry, I feel bad for Perry. And there was so many instances in this episode where I thought he was going to tell Kathleen, you know what, fuck you, I'm out.
That's what his eyes were
His
saying.
eyes were saying it every single time,
Yep.
like, ugh, I'm really tired of following you. You're not,
Yeah. You're not a good person.
yeah, I'm not really digging you right now. So I was bummed that Perry died. And yeah, like all those people that just get bombarded by the infected, the bloater, the clickers, I mean, just wrecked.
Yeah.
And then when Kathleen, she gets taken out by that child clicker, did I feel sad? like maybe a teensy weensy bit, I guess, for
You're a
Kathleen.
good person. You're a good
Yeah,
person.
I mean that's what I
Because
like to.
I really did not. Yeah. I mean, I did a good job, so good on me,
Yeah,
raising a good person.
yeah. That's true. You definitely should get the pats on the back. I don't know. I don't know why I felt for her, even though I mean she straight out came out and said it earlier in the episode that she's not a good person.
Right.
And don't tell me not to basically hunt Henry down and kill him. And the fact that lady, the shit is hitting the fan and you're still trying to kill Henry.
Mhm.
um
But
but I get
that's typically, I think, the way the slightly psychotic people are, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um, I loved the fact that Joel is up there in the super sniper because
Yes.
I was never really able to accomplish that in the game. I attempted, and yeah,
Well, to be fair, I think it took him like 20 shots to shoot the lady that was driving. So,
yeah.
was he the super sniper,
Okay.
right, or was he
You're
just
right.
lucky?
Okay.
I think y'all both had about the same hit percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool getting to see that play out from,
Hmm.
very similar, I mean almost identical,
Yeah.
from the game itself. That was really cool. That was what was so interesting and fun about this episode was how close they stuck to the game,
Hmm.
but just those little
Yeah.
twists that just
Uh-huh.
made it
They
so
tweaked
much
it
better,
just a little,
Yeah,
and it was
Sam
so
being
great.
deaf. I think I don't know if it was Neil or Craig Mazin mentioned in the the after the episode or inside the
Mhm.
episode. I know Neil was pissed about it because he was just like,
Yeah.
"Damn it,
I didn't. Why
that's
didn't I
really
think of
good.
that?
Why didn't I think of
Hmm.
that?" But yeah, because that just makes him so much more reliant upon Henry, and that makes where everything that could possibly happen to Henry, inside his mind, he's so
Well,
much more worried, and he'll do anything,
it
it
made
takes.
me freak out for Henry the whole time. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, the amount of pressure that
Yes.
he was under. I mean, just in a good world, a regular world that we live in now,
Yeah.
and having, a deaf family
Yes.
member that you're raising. But oh my God, I was just like, that's, yeah, it was rough. And he was doing a super good job. I
Hmm.
really, I hated that he decided to go ahead and end things. I hated that.
Yeah.
Um, how did you feel about Ellie thinking that her blood was the
Oh,
literal medicine?
well, first off, I was like, wait a sec. I was like, I don't remember this happening in the game. It was very apt for this episode. People talk a lot about Sam and Henry, and how Sam and Henry's deaths they go on to affect Ellie so much because of the fact that it's like that's something that can't affect her. Like she literally can't get infected and die, and now she's had Tess and Sam both like in her vicinity succumb to death that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was super interesting. I was like, wait, what's going on? Like she's gonna, and that's why I ultimately thought I was like, oh, they're about to change this shit
Yeah.
up. But
She's got super blood,
yeah, yeah, she's got the
and
super
she's
blood.
gonna just go around cutting herself
Yeah,
and
she's like
bleeding on people.
just
Yeah,
just
it's
throwing
all for
vials out
you.
there.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I should have
But
known. I
when you
should have
think,
known better that it was not going to go down that way
no,
because then
but
the ending of
think about
this
it
the
though.
season would be drastically
Yes,
different.
everything would be totally different.
Yeah,
But maybe they'd be sitting back going,
yeah,
I thought it was going to be the same. Um, when you're a kid, Ellie's age, and they're telling you that you are you're the key to
yeah,
surviving this. That that you're the cure. Well, I mean, in her little young mind, she really thinks that her
yeah.
blood is medicine.
I mean, why wouldn't she? I
Yeah.
mean, like, what else are you know, is going to make the cure other than
Right.
your blood, your DNA? It was a really touching moment between the two of them, and I loved the twist there in terms of Sam coming out and showing Ellie that he has been
Hmm.
infected, because obviously in the game just a huge surprise.
Right.
So I really like the fact that he showed her. She thinks that she's gonna cure him, and that makes it that much
Yeah.
worse
Right.
for
Right.
Ellie, and obviously she writes "I'm sorry" on his gravestone and
Yeah.
everything because yeah.
So I feel like Craig
Hmm.
has made all these little changes
Yeah.
that there's a lot of things in the game that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me at the time. Like, why is Ellie so ticked off at Joel in certain parts of the game?
Yeah.
And and I feel like the things that he's doing now sets all of those things up just that much better. I
And
can't say what exactly it is because I don't want to spoil anything for
oh,
anybody.
okay. I think most people that would be checking out watching our video have also played the game. Let's get real.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't I wouldn't feel bad
Okay.
like that you think you spoiled something. But um I was gonna I was gonna ask you, did you like that twist in terms of the opening of the show? And because I don't remember in the game him following Joel. They just
No, we didn't
happened to
see that.
run. Yeah, they just
Mm-mm.
happened to run in.
Right.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I really like that twist as well. Again, it's like these little tiny subtle things,
Yep.
where
Because he sees somebody that sort of outsmarted these people, didn't
mhm,
really outsmart them because they still didn't end up with their truck, but
out
they
muscled
survived.
them.
Yeah. And they survived the encounter.
Yeah.
And so he's seeing that and he's like, you know, I think that's brilliant because
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, I just feel like I did miss the whole motorcycle conversation that
Hmm.
they had in the game. So
I don't remember that one.
yeah,
What happened?
it was just a bonding that they had over motorcycles because Henry all he ever did was read about them, and Joel
Hmm.
tells him that they had one and
That he was like,
or he had one,
I
and
was
yeah,
riding it all over
yeah, yeah,
Austin. I was the
yeah,
cool dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched the preview. We are skipping ahead next week to, to Tommy,
I don't know. Sometimes they like to mess with us though. Just because
I guess.
they tease that doesn't mean. I don't remember them saying like next week on the Last of Us.
You did it. You said it.
I
The
almost said that.
Walking
I did. I
Dead.
almost said The Walking Dead. I blame it on being late at night.
Yeah,
My
past
brain
your bedtime.
my brain's the synapses are not working as
It's like
normally as well as
it's
they
shut
normally do.
down.
Yeah. Um, I don't necessarily think that they're like that's where they're going to end up at the beginning of next week's episode. I think that we're gonna see some things before they get there, but I can imagine. I mean, it'll be episode 6. There's only 9, so we got 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 4 episodes left. That's it, and it'll probably be 2024, 2020. Yeah, probably 2024 before
Yeah,
we get the next season.
sucks.
So yeah, no, 100% does
I
definitely
will
suck.
say I have found all kinds of stuff though that I'm going to watch in between now and then that Pedro Pascal has been in.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, there you go.
I'm gonna just I
So I take it that means he's fully became your Joel.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was going to happen for
I
you.
didn't know if it was going to happen either, but he's done such an amazing job. I mean, seriously, he has done a fantastic job.
I loved in this episode at the very end of the episode, when Ellie is, she's obviously distraught, and I love the fact that he took the time to bury,
Yes.
Sam and Henry and pay them respects, because I do think that yeah, I think they would have made like a good team together
Yeah,
in
that
another
would have been
world.
so amazing.
Yeah, it would have
Uh,
been.
uh,
I would have
yeah.
loved to seen like a such a twist that they survived, and there would be some through lines from part one or season one into season two, because that was
I just,
something. Well, I was gonna say with part two, like there was so many new faces and characters and things like
yeah,
that that
yeah,
obviously
we could have.
we're gonna get to know them more on on the TV show, but it would have been interesting to see like some characters from part one come on over to part
Ain't
two.
nobody surviving that long.
No, no. I mean that's very true. No, I'm with you. I think Pedro Pascal has crushed it. I think Bella Ramsey has done
Yeah.
a,
Oh, she's.
a phenomenal job. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything that she did in this week's episode, I thought was outstanding.
Yeah.
My wife mentioned to me, she's like, episode four, the way that it was written, the scenes that took place, that really endeared her to Joel. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
this episode really endeared her
Yeah.
to Ellie.
Yeah. They didn't do anything weird with her this week, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, that is one of those things where it almost feels like they were doing it in the first couple of episodes, and then they like finally got to watch them back, and they were like, "Yeah, this isn't really
Ooh.
working."
Yeah. Yeah. We're making her creepy.
Yeah, because
So let's
they've really dialed
creepify
that
her.
back a lot.
Yeah.
She's not acting like she is gonna go out and become some cannibal or something like that, and just murderalize everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm glad at least the last couple of episodes they've toned that down quite a bit. Oh, it wasn't something I was going to ask you about. It was something I was going to tell you about.
Oh, tell me, tell me.
Yeah, so I don't I think you caught it in the inside the episode, I believe, but another Easter egg that was really really cool to see come to life in the TV show, in the scene where we're going into the tunnels, right under Kansas City, and they come upon that really interesting painting that makes it look like it's kind of almost like a castle door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that they're going into.
Mm-hmm.
And as I believe it's Joel and Henry are talking in the episode, they see a drawing and it says "ish" on
I know. I didn't see it.
the drawing. Or
Yeah, I didn't see the drawing. I didn't notice that it said ish on it.
I saw the drawing, but I did not notice that it said
Yeah.
"ish." It just had like, I think it was a drawing. It was one person, and it was a really cool scene because if I don't recall all of this from the game, but then when I was looking at the pictures, because it looked, the environments looked so similar, and I'm like, wait a sec, we've been here,
Yeah,
right?
we have been there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I'm not going to go too deep into the story of Ish, but basically Ish from the video game was all just notes. The character of Ish is just a series of notes that you find out, which is, BioShock is infamous for having the audio logs in BioShock that tell the stories of all these, people within the city that have just, they had lives, they had normal
Yeah.
lives, and they had
Yeah.
friendships, and they had loves and all that kind of stuff, and families. So it was really interesting.
We became so invested in Ish, in his story. I mean,
Yeah.
I made sure and look everywhere for every note that I could find,
Yeah.
hoping that eventually we were going to run into him.
And we did not.
We did not.
This is what I thought was very interesting, is that we've got this gallery here, and it shows Ish's home, and so, oh, and here's the drawing. That's a drawing of Ish.
Mm-hmm.
But look, there's the door,
Mm-hmm.
the castle door. There's the school, which, I mean, damn, they've been doing such a phenomenal job of like
Yeah.
transporting us into the environments from the game. Here's your rain catchers and an old dead body over here. And then yeah, there's the bed. Looks like a bed out of Fallout 4.
Yeah, it was in the game. It was much dirtier.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It
and
didn't.
dark, and it was not welcoming in any way.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't as bad in the show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely held up a little bit nicer. So, Mom, how does this episode compare for you on the season so far? Favorite episode?
Um, I think it is quite possibly. I think this is my favorite episode.
I agree. It had
Yeah,
everything. I
it
mean,
did.
you had this emotional connection to these characters that they built within the beginning to the end of the
Yeah,
episode.
basically one episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we saw them for 2 seconds in last
Yeah,
week's episode where they're just like pointing a gun in Joel and Ellie's face. The backstory that they gave them within the span of, I think it was 11 days, you fell in love with these two characters. We got a John Getz sighting again, in
yes,
this episode. I was like, oh, that. So he wasn't just going to be around for one episode.
yeah.
Yeah, we got a nice little backstory for
And now
him.
we know why she was so pissed off and shot him while he was sitting there.
Yes, yeah,
I get it.
because he was collaborating with Henry and
And she don't
Sam.
like she don't like no collaborators.
No, she definitely does not like the collaborators. She was not very nice to the collaborators
No.
that were stuck in the jail cell. But yeah, and of course, we got a tremendously badass scene with all these infected, the bloaters, which again, the game to the TV show, has definitely downplayed the infection
Yeah.
in terms of the amount of action in terms of
Right.
dealing with the infected.
Yeah, it I mean, it was a constant thing for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah, yep,
So it was kind of nice to actually see some.
yeah.
And they multiplied them because we didn't ever see that many all at once.
Oh
And
God,
so
the way they
that
just
was,
like bum rushed out of there, out
yeah,
of that
just
hole.
it was like they were exploded out. I mean,
Yeah,
it was, yeah. And then I was kind of screaming when the bloater comes up. I'm like, yes, the bloater.
the bloater did look great. They crushed it with the clickers. They've crushed it with the bloater. Yeah, we got to see this episode at everything.
Yeah, it did. It was heartwarming, and if you looked deep enough, and truly, truly sad. It was a really, really good episode.
You
So
screamed, you yelled, you
you
cried.
cried, you laughed.
Yeah, and you laughed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Had everything. Fantastic episode. I can't wait to see what they bring to us in episode 6.
Really? 6? Dang it.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna cheat.
Okay.
Episode 6 is entitled Kin. So, and not like the Ken doll from Barbie.
No, it's Kin.
Yes, Kin.
So we are gonna find Tommy.
It does seem very much like, yeah, we're gonna run into Tommy next week. And I did see Rutina Wesley, which I was like, I was personally super pumped about that. She is Tara. I think her name was Tara
Yeah.
on True Blood.
Yeah. You know how much I love her.
Yeah, no. Well, she was an annoying.
I love her. It's
Yeah.
the character.
Yeah,
that
she had
just-
a super annoying character on True Blood, but I have a soft spot in my heart for for all the characters on True
No,
Blood,
for
even though
sure.
it
Loved that show.
was, I mean,
It's super cheese.
it was the cheesiest, super cheesy show, but had a lot of fun watching that.
Okay, so that was in the preview. You're saying is where you saw her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I think
yeah. Now I
think
remember
it's
seeing her for.
I think it's Tommy's lady friend.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm excited to see Tommy.
lady friend.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what do you? Well,
Lava.
yeah, that's
Sorry,
true.
and you hear this thing going squeak, squeak, squeak.
I heard something,
It
but
was the chair.
no, I bet it was. I bet it was. That was, you were partying so hard. You were like, it's Friday night. I'm getting pizzas.
That's right.
I,
With beans on it.
yeah, and then I got to do this podcast, and I'm just gonna be gassing it up. Luckily, we're not
And
in the
blame
same room.
Nope.
Blame it on the chair.
Blame it on the chair.
Yeah. Well, Mom, it was fun chatting about the episode late at
It
night.
was fun.
It was, yeah, it was. There's not much to say about this episode because it just kicks so much ass.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it again.
Yes, and listen to the podcast that they do.
Yes, me too.
Maybe I may even listen to that as I go to bed tonight. So, all right.
Oh, Troy Baker in your ear as you go to bed.
Oh
That sounds so
man,
good.
yeah. I'm gonna act like I didn't hear that. Yeah, but I mean, for you at least, you got Troy
It would be
and
great.
Neil
Yeah.
Druckmann,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
Craig Mazin. I mean, come on.
I haven't. I mean, I appreciate him,
I appreciate
but
his big beautiful brain.
yes, he's got a gorgeous brain.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
he's fantastic.
I